Gonna get ready to get started in five, four, three, two. Hey, welcome to the show, people. We're doing it again, and we're back live in studio. That's right. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Connection with your host, Stephen Thayard, out of KFAX San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, Morgan Hill, San Martin, and Gilroy. Yes, welcome to the show. Hope you've had a chance to grab a cup of coffee and join me today. I'm looking forward to today's show. You know, it's the last week of February. We are wrapping it up and getting ready to move into March. Can you believe March is actually on the horizon already? Yes, that's right. We're almost done with the first quarter of 2020 already. We're entering into the third and final month, and it's time to almost spring forward. I was going to announce the grand announcement on the show today about springing forward, but my lovely wife reminded me that it's not till next week. So I pulled back on that, but I'm pre-warning. Pre-warning, it's coming. It's coming, and it's not my favorite time of the year because I don't know if it's just me, but it seems to take about a month for my body to recover from losing that 1 hour sleep. You think 1 hour, just one measly hour, wouldn't do anything to your body, but I swear, I drag in the morning all the way through March, and then I start to feel normal again in April. But besides the bad news of losing an hour's sleep, March also brings St. Patrick's Day and the annual eating of corned beef and cabbage, which I look forward to. I do enjoy it very much. My wife's a vegetarian, so she can't really connect with me on this point, but the corned beef and cabbage is good. Enjoy it. Have fun. Additionally, it's time to get those veggies in the ground for all you gardeners out there. So, in honor of St. Patrick's Day and the start of planting season, I would like to speak a blessing over you all. This comes from Psalm 90:17. Let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yes, establish the work of our hands. So, for all you cooks out there cooking the corned beef and cabbage, and for all you planters out there who are going to be planting cabbage, may the Lord bless the work of your hands. So, with 2 months of work of our hands in the real estate market, I thought I would bless you with a market update. Now, this market update will cover Alameda County and Santa Clara County. And to keep it interesting, I thought I would share some interesting personal stories of real estate from the field. Now, numbers and statistics, I can say that. I promise I can. Numbers and statistics can be boring and uninteresting, but I'm going to give you some anecdotal things that have happened to me in my life as a real estate agent, and you might find them funny or you might find them interesting, to say the least. So, speaking of blessings, I would like to bless you today. If you email me for a no-obligation appointment to give you an estimate on the value of your home, or just sit down over a cup of coffee and to discuss the prospect of buying a home in 2020, I have a gift for you. I'd like to give you a copy of a book called The Family Preparedness Buyer's Guide. This must-have book is for any family preparing for any emergency. And I know there's been talk of a certain cough or illness going around that people are maybe preparing for. And this even covers issues related to fast-spreading viruses. So this bestseller will provide you and your family with information on the best survival gear, tools, and weapons for your skills and budget. Chapters include emergency shelter, fire and clothing, emergency food and cooking gear, communication and navigation and survival weapons in case, somebody tries to take your food away from you. So I have a copy of this book for you, and it's a very easy read with lots of useful information. Now, if you're wondering, I always fill this time part of my show with that offer out to you. But I have an announcement to make. I am opening it up to sponsors. Not only people who would like to join me on the show, who have something to add to the world of real estate from a support perspective, whether it be a contractor or an attorney or a CPA talking about taxes or different types of investment vehicles, but anyone who would like to just sponsor the show and then have their business mentioned at the top. So if you are interested in having your business sponsored, reach out to me right there at where is that? Right here, info@realestateconnectionradio.com, info@realestateconnectionradio.com, and I'd be happy to speak to you about a sponsorship opportunity. So now, are we ready? Are we ready to dig into this Northern California market update? As of 2/26/2020, which is the day I'm taping the show, and for people watching me live, it is the day that the show is coming out live. Let's get down to business. The market has begun, and now is a good time to see how it is shaping up. We have full data from January in the books that I'm going to be reviewing to you that's going to give an update as to what's going on in the market for 2 counties, which I've already mentioned. But what I didn't say is that we were also going to delve into each individual city within the county, because it's good to get a market snapshot of what's going on from 30,000 feet. But all of us live in individual neighborhoods, so I thought it would be nice for everyone who's listening, if you're living in a city within Alameda or Santa Clara County, you will get to see what's going on in your specific neck of the woods. All right, so let's start off with alphabetical order, Alameda County. So for January of 2020, in Alameda County as a whole, the beginning of the real estate season, there were 429 single-family residence homes listed for sale. All right, or sold. I'm sorry, 429 homes sold in January of 2020. I'm still looking at my chart, and for those of you who are watching me live, this is what I'm looking at. This is the graph. But there are 429 homes sold in January of 2020, which is down 11% from last year of the same time, January of 2019. Now, what does that really mean? I don't really know yet. We're gonna get deeper into this as we move forward. Now, the number of active listings for all of Alameda County as of January 2020 was 518, and that's down 40%. So I'll tell you what that means. We have low inventory of available homes to purchase by buyers as compared to last year. Down 40% is a big number. That means the market is tight. And with a tightening market and low interest rates, you should actually see prices go up, as demand will be high due to a shrinking of inventory. Existing single-family home median price for Alameda County as a whole was $875,000, and that is up 5.9% from last year, year over year. So that is telling us, with the low inventory on the market, and with the same amount of buyers in the market, it's already starting to drive prices up. So Marco said I had a minute, which means I really have 30 seconds. When we get back from the break, we're going to get into market competition, which is median days on market for Alameda County, sales to list price, meaning how much of a percentage you're getting on the house when an offer comes in, and the percentage of active listings that are seeing a price reduction. So stay with me as we continue to drive through this market update as we're going through Alameda County, and I will be back. All right. Let me see what Gene has. Yes, Gene, too much cabbage gives you the wind. Ba-dum-bump. Welcome to the show, Gene. Thanks for joining me again today. All right, we're going to pull that graphic down because we don't need to have that up for the entire program. We're going to jump back into this thing because we have a lot of material to cover, and I want to jump into my stories. So I am going to ask my beautiful, lovely producer, Marco, handsome man that he is, to start the intro music that you guys can't hear, but the radio can. So here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Thanks you for joining me this morning on the Real Estate Connection with your host, Realtor Stephen Thayard out of KFAX 1100, which you can hear in San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, Morgan Hill, San Martin, and Gilroy. If you are having problems picking it up in the South County, you can always log in to iHeartRadio.com and pick up the station on KFAX 1100 out of San Francisco. And for my people who are listening, like my sister-in-law, Tammy, in Chicago, that way you can hear me Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Through the internet. Now, as we were speaking about before we left for the commercial break, we were going through the market update for Alameda County as we have official numbers in for January of 2020. We were rolling through existing single-family residence home sales, active listings, and the median price for existing single-family home pricing in the county. It is up 5.9% from last year at a median price of $875,000. So we're going to jump into what we call market competition. How many days on market a house is sitting and what the sales to list price ratio is and the percentage of active listings being reduced in price. So the median days on market for all of Alameda County is 20 right now. So that means from the day that it hits the multiple listing service until an offer is accepted, the median time frame is 20 days, which is pretty quick. It's not as fast as we saw in 2017 when it was around 15 or 14 days, because usually we would see a house hit the market, have an open house after 1 week, and then negotiate a deal. And by the time all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed, it was about 14 days before we changed the status from active to pending or contingent on somebody else selling a house in order to close the deal. So 20 days is still very good. It means the market has some velocity in it. As regards to sales to list price ratio, we are seeing 100.2% for the county as a whole. This means if you have listed your home at a fair dollar amount, you're getting a full price offer with a 0.2% bump. Okay, so that's a good sign overall for Alameda County. Okay, now we're looking at 13.7% of properties having a price reduction. This could be any number of factors. It could be the realtor did an analysis and came up with a value that was too high, or the seller wanted more money than what the realtor was suggesting, or the house could not be in the best location or the best shape, and the price that was expected to be had is not working, and so they have made an adjustment to bring it within line of market value, so now people will come in and make an offer. So we're at 13.7% price reduction. So let's jump into specific cities. So if you're listening today and you live in the town of Berkeley, this information is for you. Existing single-family residence home sales, meaning how many homes have sold in January 2020 compared to last year, are 27. There's zero change in the town of Berkeley. It's the same amount as it was last year. However, active listings in the city of Berkeley are only 26. That's right, you heard me, 26 for the whole entire city of Berkeley. Down 40.9% from the same time in 2019. The existing single-family home median price in Berkeley is $1.25 million. You heard me, $1,250,000, which is up 8.7% from last year. The average days on market for a house to sell in the town of Berkeley is 14 days. And sales to list price ratio is 104.3%. So that is saying if you price your house appropriately in Berkeley, you're seeing a 4.3 bump on your list price when an offer comes in. And there's only 7.7% of active listings seeing a price reduction. That's telling me that Berkeley is a pretty hot market. So if you're on the fence in Berkeley and you're wondering whether or not you should sell, if it's been on your mind, now's the time to do it. Get out there and take advantage of this hot market in the city of Berkeley. So we're going to cruise on over to Castro Valley and take a look at what's going on out there. Now, there were 27 sales in Castro Valley in January 2020, and that's up 12.5%. Active listings are only 28, which is down 17.6%. So we're seeing more homes sold in Castro Valley, but we're seeing less inventory. The median price out there in Castro Valley is $900,000. Again, the median price for Castro Valley is $900,000, and it's up 12.1% from last year. The average days on the market before a house goes into contract is 14 days. Again, that is a hot market. That's telling me that if the house is priced right, it goes on the market, it stays on about a week before offers start rolling in, and a deal is usually negotiated within 4 or 5 days of the offers being received. And the sales to list price ratio is 103.3%, meaning if you priced your house appropriately, you're getting a 3.3% bump, bonus baby, on the list price of your house when you're getting offers received. And the number of listings that are seeing price reductions in Castro Valley as of January of this year is 7.1%. Castro Valley, I would say, is in a hot or very warm market. So if you've been thinking about selling in Castro Valley, my advice to you is get out there, get off the fence, and get into the market now. Okay, now let's take a look at another city in Alameda County as we head on over in our cars to Dublin. That's right, Dublin. Dublin has 13 sales that have taken place in the city as of January, down 38.1%. So we're down in the amount of sales that have taken place, but we're also down in the amount of active homes listed for sale in Dublin, as there's only 33. Which is down 17.5%. Tight inventory in Dublin. The existing single-family residence price point is $990,000, up only 1% from last year. Now, the amount of time that a house stays on the market in Dublin as of January of this year is 32 days. So that's telling me that Dublin has not been as desirable as maybe Berkeley or Castro Valley, and so we're not seeing the velocity in the market in the city of Dublin that we saw in these other two cities. And the sales to list price ratio is only 99%. However, we're seeing zero price reductions. So sellers are holding the line on their pricing, which is telling me there's real investment in the market out in Dublin. The lending rules changed after the downturn of 2007, 2008 in the real estate bubble when it popped. And when it all came back, the ability to borrow became tougher for everyone. You really had to have a solid credit rating. You really had to have money or skin in the game. There were no more zero money down loans going on or stated income. You had to put some cash in. So people who were buying houses from 2009 forward to 2020 have a significant personal investment into their property. So they are not just walking away from that value. They're holding the line when it comes to value and pricing. So that's important to know in the market. Marco says I had 2 minutes, so we're going to try to drive on over to Fremont and tell y'all what's going on over there. That's right. We're dialing up, going out on the Harley to Fremont. All right, existing single-family home sales, we have 49 homes sold in the town of Fremont, down 5.8%. But again, active listings seem to be down across the board in all these cities. We only have 53 homes in January of 2020, which is down 44.2%. The single family median price point in Fremont is $1,120,000, up 7.7% from January of 2019. And the average days on market, or the median days on market in the city of Fremont, are 26. Now, it's not as strong as a velocity that we're seeing out of Berkeley and Dublin, but it's still much better than we saw, Berkeley and, let me go back to my notes, Berkeley and Castro Valley. It's still stronger than Dublin, which was 32 days. All right, we have a minute left, and I'm going to wrap up Fremont. Okay, so the sales to list price ratio in Fremont is 100.1%. So you're seeing asking price given for the most part with a 0.1% bump in value, and then there's only 3.8% of listings doing a price reduction. So when we get back from the break, we're going to jump into Hayward, and then I'm going to digress and pull the show aside for a little bit and give you a little story about what happened to me when I first got started into real estate and how crazy and wild and cutthroat it really is out here. So we'll see you when we get back from paying some bills. We might be going to Oakdale if I'm not busy. And right now, I can say that I have been truly blessed by the Lord, and the business is doing very well. And I may not have the bandwidth to get out there, but if we can, Gene, we will get out to Oakdale to the rodeo. All my rodeo fans out there, you see my hat I'm wearing today? It's from Tennessee, Grand Ole Opry, when me and my wife went out there for her 50th birthday. That was a really fun trip. All right, so we're going to get this show back on the road because we don't want to have too many breaks while we're rolling live. And we're going to continue to record the radio show for KFAX. So my friend Marco, would you please start the intro music again? Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me today on the Real Estate Connection on KFAX 1100. I am your host, Stephen Thayard, a realtor in Northern California, Silicon Valley, licensed in doing business up here, and very blessed with business indeed as the market seems to have taken off. And with that, we are doing a market update. If you're just joining our show, we're taking a look at two counties, Alameda and Santa Clara County, and we've been rolling through the cities of Alameda County, and now we're going to jump into the city of Hayward. As of January of 2020, existing single-family residence home sales for the city of Hayward were 50. It is up 8.7% from last year in 2020. Active listings in the same time frame are 43 for the city of Hayward, which is down 57%. So again, this is consistent. Tight market across the board in Alameda County. Existing single-family home sales are as far as pricing is concerned, is at $718,000 for Hayward, which is up 4%. This may be an indication that cheaper markets are attracting more buyers, and so the velocity and the values are going to be going up. And this is also indicated by competition, market. The average days on market for the city of Hayward right now are only 16. So houses are generally moving pretty quickly out there. And your sales to list price ratio is 100%. So whatever they're asking for, they're getting, not over asking, not below asking, but right at market value. The percentage of properties seeing a price reduction are 18.6%. So because we've been rolling through a lot of numbers, I thought I'd pull the show over for a minute and give you a little bit of not a little bit of a story, but give you a story about something that happened to me when I first got into business. A lot of people think real estate is, I don't know, maybe simple, put a house in the front yard, do some open houses, get an offer, sign on the dotted line, and boom, bang, bing, you get paid. My very first client that I met in an open house was my most interesting story that I've ever had so far in my life as a realtor over the past 15 years. I had just started working for Century 21, and I was doing an open house in San Jose. A very nice lady came into the open house, and we had a very nice conversation. We got to know each other. She was looking to buy a home in the area that I was doing the open house in, and she provided me with her contact information, and then I reached out the next week to see if I could help her find a home. We had another very long conversation, and got to know each other, and I got to know what her and her husband were looking for. And so I started showing her houses. Now, this wonderful lady was from New York, and I'm going to change her name to, let's call her name Lucy. Lucy and I were seeing a lot of houses. Lucy loved to go look at property, and she would send me an email with a list of 10 or 15 houses that she would want to see. So off we would go, and we'd look at houses all afternoon, weekend after weekend after weekend. During the process of working with Lucy, she had told me that her and her husband had found another house that they had really liked, and this was in 2006, and the market was still hot. It was before the market exploded. They really liked this house, but somebody wrote an offer before they had a chance to do it, and they lost it. Well, lo and behold, I get a phone call from Lucy while we're in the process of working together that the house that they originally wanted to purchase was back on the market. And she was super excited about it, so she asked me to call the realtor to set up a showing and then for us to get our paperwork together and submit an offer. So I called the lady and I said, hey, my client's really interested in the property. They lost out on it last time. They really want to write an offer. So I start working with Lucy to put the paperwork together, and a couple of days later, Lucy calls me. She goes, Stephen, I have some news, some good news and some bad news for you. And I'm like, well, what's going on? She said, well, the realtor that is selling the house that is back on the market called me. She said that she met us in an open house a couple of months ago, and that because she met us first, that we were her clients. And if we didn't work with her to write the offer, the listing agent, that she was going to have to put it back on the market as active, and other people would have the ability to come in and write offers. But if we worked with her, she would just go ahead and take the offer and submit it. I was flabbergasted, floored. I was like, I've been working with you guys for a couple of months, showing you, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 different houses, and now you're going to go work with this other lady. But at the same time, I understood it because they had fallen in love with the house and they didn't want to take a chance at losing it. But that was my first introductory to the cutthroat nature of real estate. Now, the good news to the story was that Lucy had a house to sell in San Jose, and they were going to use a discount brokerage to sell their house and kind of do it on their own. But because they felt bad that they were using this other real estate professional, and I use that term loosely, to help them buy the house that they really wanted, they were going to hire me to list and sell their property in San Jose. So it wound up working out, but as a new agent who was struggling to build business and pay bills, it turned out to be another 3-month delay. However, I didn't go after the other real estate professional, and I use that term loosely again, because at the time, my broker said, what are you going to do? How are you going to prove it? How are you going to prove all this went down? And they're right. There's no way I could really prove it. It would be a he said, she said thing, and it would go nowhere. So I took the high road, let it go, but it informed me that the business that I was getting into had really good people in it and really bad people in it. So if you're out there and you're searching for a real estate professional, try to use your discernment in knowing who you're working with and what master they serve. All right, now let's go back to the show and jump into the town of, let me see, we finished up Hayward. We're going to cruise on into Livermore. All right, so for Livermore, the market for January 2020. Yeah, I'm slowing down. There were 50 total home sales in the city, in the town of Livermore. which was up 13.6%, which is good. So people are buying houses out in Livermore. However, the number of active listings in the city is down 43.7%. You are seeing the theme. We have a tight inventory in the market right now. The median price for a house in Livermore is $838,000, which is up 8.9%. However, the average days on market in Livermore is 29 days. That's kind of a balanced market. When I first got into the real estate profession, 30 days on market was the norm before we would see a house go into contract. We've all been spoiled by, put your house on the market and get an offer in 7 days. But 29 days isn't bad. They're receiving 100% of their asking price, and price reductions are only 5%. So we're only seeing prices reduced across the board by 5% of the houses. So how much time do I have left, Marco? I have 90 seconds left. So the next town we're going to cruise into is Newark, and then we're on a move from Newark to Oakland, and then from Oakland to Pleasanton, then to San Leandro, and then to Union City, and who knows, I don't know, we might not even get into Santa Clara County in this show, but when we get back from the break, we'll keep moving through the county of Alameda so that we can give you an update city by city so you can know how your city is doing this year in 2020, and I'll see you at the other end of the break. Nice. All right. Hey, Mike Hogue. Love you, brother. Thanks for watching today. Appreciate the support. All right. So we were in the town of Livermore, and we're moving to Newark. So how many long segments do I have left? All right. So we're probably only going to be able to get through Alameda County. I was like ambitious. We're going to have to do Santa Clara County next week. So that's okay. We'll be fine. All right. Marco says I got an extra minute I could play with. But we got a lot of cities in Santa Clara County, so we may just stretch it out and do Santa Clara County next week. All right. Marco, would you be so kind? All right, here we go. The bumper music is playing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me this morning on the Real Estate Connection with your host and realtor, Stephen Thayard. We are out of Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, Morgan Hill, Gilroy, San Martin, and wherever your radio dial can pick us up. And if the signal is weak, you can always find us on iHeartRadio. Also, this show, if you cannot catch it live or in a YouTube version of this video broadcast, my shows are archived as a podcast on Apple Podcasts now, as well as Podbean. So if you need a connection to that, I'm going to be trying to figure out the link to send out to all you people so you can subscribe to podcasts on Apple and my YouTube channel. All right, so back to the show. We're rolling through a market update, and now we're talking about the city and town of Newark, California. Existing single-family home sales for the month of January were 12 in total, which was down 36.8%. Active listings are 24, which is down 57.9%, continuing our tight inventory trend. And the median price for a house in Newark is $915,000, just under that $1 million mark, which is up 7.6%. However, the average days on market for the town of Newark is 50. So that's a long time on the market. I don't know. We'll take a look later in the middle, towards the end, I guess, of the first quarter to see if this number has shifted as inventory is low. And I'm guessing that with demand being about the same as it was last year and less inventory available, that number could go down. Sales to list price ratio is 99.2%. So people are offering under list price as a whole in the town of Newark, and we're seeing about 12.5% of the listings with price reductions so far in January of 2020. Now, as we cruise on over to the town of Oakland, where the Raiders used to play, existing single-family home sales are 115 so far for January of this year, up 2.7%. And active listings for for Oakland are 164, which is down 38.6%. Still the tight inventory. $710,000 is the median price, which is up 16.9%. And our average days on market are 27, which is better, way better than the town of Newark. So it's under the 30-day mark, which is good. And we're seeing 103.6% of asking price. So you're seeing a 3.6% bump out there if you're selling a house in Oakland. However, there are about 20% of the listings that are seeing price reductions. Now, this could do with all kinds of factors out there that I'm not going to go digging into on today's show, but it's a little bit higher than the other cities we've covered. So we're going to cruise on over to the town of Pleasanton, one of the nicer towns, I think, in Alameda County. It's very beautiful out there, close to wineries and things like that. Existing single-family home sales in Pleasanton are 24, down 25%. Active listings are 46, which is only down 2.1%. So they're holding steady year over year as far as inventory is concerned. However, Pleasanton seems to be gaining some momentum as their median sales price or list price out there is $1,220,000, which is up 6.8% from last year. And their days on market are only 15. So there's velocity out there. Homes are selling quickly. They're getting their asking price, not anything above. It's 100%. But we're seeing 21.7% of the houses seeing a price reduction. So if you're out in Pleasanton and you're looking for a property and you feel in your gut that the house is overpriced, hang out. You may see a price reduction. So let's move on over to San Leandro. Existing single-family home sales there for the month of January are 26, which is down 27.8%. And we see active listings of a total, the same number, of 26, which is down 16.1%. And the median list price or median price out there is $689,000. So if you're looking for a bargain for buying a house, San Leandro is the place to go. There's only 14 days on the market, so it seems like everyone's flocking that direction for the low price point to enter into owning a home. And they're seeing 104.6% of list to sales price ratio, which means they're getting about a 4.6% bump on their list price when they're going into contract. 15.4% of the houses are being reduced in price on the market for January of 2020. Now we're going to head on over to San Lorenzo in Alameda County. Existing single-family residences, we have 13 sales out there for the month of January, which is down 13%. And active listings in San Lorenzo is a total of 4. You heard that, 4 houses for January of 2020, which is down 42%. The average or the median price out there is $670,000. You're seeing a bump there of 7.5% from last year. And days on market are only 9. Can you believe it? 9. That means the house hits the market and then offers come rolling in. You may not even have a chance to have an open house out there. They're seeing 106.4% sales to list price, which means you're seeing a 6.4% bump on your list price out in San Lorenzo. So if you're thinking of selling in San Lorenzo, it's a hot market out there. That's right. There are no price reductions in that city at all. 0%. They're being listed and sold. San Lorenzo, hot market. All right. Now we're in the last town of Alameda County. We're moving in, last but not least, Union City. All right. For January of 2020, 13 existing single-family home sales for the month, which is down 60.6%. And then total active listings are 11. Now, so the reason your home sales are down is because you don't have the inventory to buy. There are only 11 active listings available for sale out in Union City, and that is down 68%. Now, what's interesting about that is the median price is $890,000, which is down 1%. And days on market are 33. And sales to list price ratio is 97.1%, but we're seeing no price reductions out there. Kind of a conundrum, right? Values aren't climbing, and it takes a little bit of time to get a house sold in Union City, but the housing market's still moving. What can I tell you? So that's it for Alameda County. How much more time do we have left in this segment? 4 minutes. Sorry. So I'm going to get into another story because I don't know if we're actually going to be able to roll through all of Santa Clara County. So you know what? Hold that. I'm going to reel that back in. We're going to give the overall information for Santa Clara County, and then next show we'll finish the cities, and maybe we'll do a few, and then in my last segment I'll give you my last story. All right, so let's do that. All right, so the monthly market report for all of Santa Clara County for January of 2020, existing homes that sold were 419 total. That's down 5% for the entire county. Active listings for January 2020, 565 single-family homes, which were down 36.9%. So we have a reduced amount of inventory in Santa Clara County as a whole. The existing median price for the county is $1.2 million, which is up 1.3% from this time last year. The average days or the median days on market for the entire county is 19, which is saying that the county is doing really well. The velocity has already started off pretty well for the year, and the market has taken off. Some cities are doing better than others, as we'll see as we go through this report. The sales to list price ratio, though, is 100%. So we're not seeing the crazy days of, $100,000 over asking, or, 5, 10, 15% over asking like we saw in 2017 as a county as a whole. But there are some cities within the county that are seeing numbers that are really strong. The amount of active listings that are seeing price reductions in the county are 18.6%. So there's going to be stronger cities and some weaker cities that are making this number look the way it does. So let's look in. We're going to do this alphabetical order. Let's start with the beautiful town of Campbell. Who doesn't love going out to downtown Campbell and walking around? It's a lovely little town, little hamlet within Santa Clara County. Existing single-family home sales for the month of January are 11 in total. That's down 22% from last year, but the amount of active listings in Campbell is 16, which is up. So as we were seeing a definite trend in Alameda County, in Santa Clara County, we start off with there being more listings available for sale this time last year than there were before. The median or existing single-family home median price point in Campbell is $1.35 million, so $1,350,000, which is down 2.9%. And you can remember in 2017 and 2016, Campbell was on fire. You put something on the market and boom, it was gone. The average days on market in Campbell is now 33, and the sales to list price ratio is 97.6%. So they're not seeing full price offers in Campbell right now. And the amount of price reductions that we're seeing in Campbell is significant. It's 37.5%. So it looks to me like the market has slowed down a little bit in the city of Campbell. So let's turn the page and look in Cupertino. How much time do I have left, Marco? Minute 20 seconds. So I'm going to do Cupertino and then we're going to go to a break. All right, so Cupertino, existing single-family home sales, 9 total houses were sold for January 2020 in Cupertino, and that's down 40%. Active listings in Cupertino, 13, which is down 7.1%. So tight market for the city of Cupertino. Available homes are available for sale in Campbell. The median price point for Cupertino is $2.25 million, so $2,250,000, which is up 2.3%. 30 seconds. 29 days is your average time on market. You're seeing 100% list to sales price ratio, and you're only seeing 7.7% of the active listings being reduced in price. So when we get back from the break, we might do one more city, and I'm going to finish strong with a story to tell you about another happening for me in real estate when we get back from the break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, folks. We're obviously not going to be able to get through all of Santa Clara County, but we'll do one more city. We're going to do the town of Gilroy. because it's next alphabetically, and then we'll wrap with another story. All right, so I'm going to ask my fantastic, talented producer to start the bumper music for the radio, and then we'll get going again. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is our last segment. It's the short segment. This is your host, Stephen Thayard, and we've been going through a real estate market update for the counties of Alameda and Santa Clara. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to finish Santa Clara County, so come back next week and we'll be able to wrap this up. We have a few cities to get through. We have one more I'm going to tease you with in the town of Gilroy. So Gilroy is in the southern end of Santa Clara County. It's the last town before you leave and hit San Benito. Existing homes available for sale as of January were 28 in the town of Gilroy, which is up 47.4%. As far as sales, existing home sales. So 28 homes were sold in January in Gilroy, up 47.4%. And then active listings available for sale for January are 58, which is down 9.4%. So a little bit lower than last year. Existing single-family home pricing out there is the median price is $775,000. So drive a little, save a lot. If you're looking for a bargain and a deal and you want to buy a house, Gilroy's the place to be. It's not that far from San Jose, and you can get a good deal on a property. It's down 3%. The median days on market is 65, so it's a little bit slower in the town of Gilroy, which means you probably can negotiate a deal better and pick and choose. And then the sales to list price ratio is 98.4%. So they're not seeing full price offers out in the little town of Gilroy out there, the garlic capital of the world. And price reductions as a percentage of active listings are 27.6%. So we're going to stop with the town of Gilroy, and we're going to jump back into the market update for Santa Clara County next week. But I want to tell one more story about being a real estate professional. I had a friend who came to me in my circle of country friends. I hang out with some folks who love to go see country music, go to rodeos, and have fun line dancing and things of that nature. And one of my friends approached me to buy a house. And so she said she had money saved up and a family member was a lender. And so we started looking at property and going around and checking things out in her price point. And as we began to talk more and more about her strategy, her idea was that she could qualify for a loan, and she could then pay for the house with and keep her house payments up with her savings that she had saved up, because it was going to be a little bit more than what she was earning if she wasn't going to have a roommate. And then she was going to count on the home value to rise and then refinance into something that she could afford better. And so as I was hearing her talk about all this, and we were looking at houses, it just didn't sit right with me for some reason. I was like, I don't know if it just doesn't sound right. So I went home and did the math myself and looked at her approach, and I called her and I said, friend, I'm not going to sell you a house. And she goes, why not? I said, ethically, I can't do it. You're getting into a property and you're going to be in over your head. You're counting on the market to rise in order to save you. And if it doesn't rise, you're going to lose the property and lose your down payment, your cash down payment that you've been saving for years to go into the property. And then all of it's going to go away. It just doesn't make any sense. You should either save more, wait for the rates to drop, or pick a different area to live in order to protect yourself financially. And she thought about it and said, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for telling me that. I needed to hear that. You're right. I'm going to back out of this deal and wait to buy a house because it's not smart right now. We're still really good friends, but the point of the story was I knew that this was going to cost me a deal or a transaction and a paycheck, but I chose to take care of my friend and my relationship first. And that's the most important thing, is the relationships that I have with my clients and my friends, because my clients oftentimes start off as my friends or become my friends. So when you're looking for a real estate professional, That's the other thing. Got to feel them out. Know if they have your best interest at heart or if they're looking for a paycheck. So that's it. That wraps up the show. Sorry we weren't able to get into all of the Santa Clara County update. We'll take it up next week. I promise we'll finish it. Thank you for joining me. If you want to become a sponsor for the show, hit me up at info@realestateconnectionradio.com. Or if you would like to be a guest on the show to market your business as it maybe supports the real estate industry, check me out. Also, please subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless California, and God bless the United States of America. I'm Stephen Thayard, your Realtor Radio friend. I am out, and I will see you next week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me for today's market update. Sorry we didn't get all the way through Santa Clara County, but we will take it up next week. With that, I'm going. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.